Welcome to the biggest show in the world, Sports Bettors TV.
Welcome to the weekend and welcome to the biggest show in the world, Sports Bettors TV. What is going on, people? How is all my family out there popping today? I'm sitting here talking to my boy, the evil genius of Major League Baseball. Very excited. My boy, Dr. Dan. What's going on, Playboy?
What is up, kid? Happy to be back for another weekend. It has been a good week, trying to get as many plays in as I can, guys. Like I said, I've been working like 14 hours a day. So it is what it is. But I know y'all junkies out there just are dying for me to give you plays every day. I'm trying to do it. I love you all, but let's make some money today and get it done.
Yes, absolutely, man. Very excited about it. What Dream and I have been doing, man, is we haven't been doing the scores, Dan. What we're doing is just basically recapping the night before. The New York Rangers, kid, down 1-0, kid. I thought that my future was over with them, so I ended up banging them plus 1.5 on a live line. This was when they were down 1-0 with, I want to say it was like 6 or 7 minutes left. And
okay.
They ended up tying the game and then winning in overtime, man. So very fortunate about that.
Yeah, I mean, those are my boys in blue right there. Hey, that was a great way, obviously. Now they got to go into Washington, which, I know I was talking to you a little bit about this, and not to get too deep into puck, but hopefully those last 2 goals that he gave up, I think they finally have found a way to get him beat. They finally just started throwing pucks at the net, crashing the net. Kreider has been amazing. I mean, he's a playoff player. And now I think all the pressure's on Washington, obviously.
Oh,
and we'll see how they deal with that. I think the Rangers have a good chance to go into Washington and take a Game 6. They've been in this position before. And if Holtby's a little shook, well, good for us.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So big ups to the Rangers on that. We had the Chicago Bulls buzzer beater by Derrick Rose and beat the Cavs, man. I told everybody, bro. I've been telling the Dream. This series is a big problem for my boy, especially with Kevin Love out. A lot of people don't really care about him being out, dude. I'm telling you, I've been watching this team all year long, with and without Kevin Love. It's just a different team, man.
Oh, 100%. And, I appreciate watching LeBron, but, I really appreciate watching what D Rose does, man. I mean, just straight ice water. And it's amazing. Like, the dude has no knees. Like, he's just sheer guts, determination, and just talent. This is a big problem for Cleve.
Oh, big time. Now they have another game in Chicago that they have to play this weekend. I mean, I don't know, bro.
And part of me thinks, is LeBron going to go straight hero ball?
You know what? That's what, when his back's against the wall, that's what he does. But, the good news is that he has J.R. Smith back in the lineup, and obviously has Kyrie. I think Kyrie got a little banged up last night, too. He was kind of limping around the court a little bit, so we got to kind of keep our eye on that situation.
I mean, he had a bad night. That's why I'm saying, I just see it. I see this series going. If it keeps going this way, you're going to see LeBron bringing the ball up the court. He's going to be playing ISO. I don't know. And we'll see what happens.
Yes, definitely, man. So I think that series is a little bit of a headache. And right now, you can actually get Cleveland plus 30 in the plus 130 in the series play if you wanted to get that. But I don't recommend that, guys, because Cleveland could turn it right on. You know what I'm saying? But I recommend just kind of falling back and staying away from it. So, and I've got a lot of different futures invested in, all different kind of ways, man. So I got to figure out a way to share those with the nation. I'll do the best I can to get that up there. But what I'm doing, it's very, very detailed and involved, and it could be confusing for most. But, bottom line is that if one of my teams is not going a certain way, if I have a future on them, I just pull out of them with a live line during the elimination game of the respective series. So right now I don't have any elimination games to worry about because every series is tied 1-1 except for the 2 last night. With, speaking of the series, kid, the LA Clippers lateth the smacketh down on the Houston Rockets, kid. What's up with that?
I have no idea. I mean, that, hey, that kind of shocked me. Defense is like a forgotten word in Houston.
Unbelievable, man. They just 124 points, kid.
Oh, yeah. It's been absolutely pitiful to watch. I mean, they can't do anything. I mean, inside, outside, they just get smoked.
Unbelievable. I know, man. I know. It's pretty painful to watch. It was pretty painful to watch. The Clippers were just killing them yesterday.
I mean, if you think about it, even in the game they won, they still gave up 109. They've given up 117, 109, and 124 in this series.
Rough.
That's bad.
Rough. Big ups to everybody that's retweeting our show today. I got Zay, I got Shy Picks, I got Tony Enab, I got Marlon, I got Joe Zippy, Jay Snyder, Vegas Girl 92661, I got Joseph Del Rosario Christos, Sir Mata, Spot Bet, Holiday, Direct Sports Solutions. I got Dre out there. Good morning, guys. What is up? 5-1 as well as Jay Cast, who been ripping up the soccer, man. Good for you, brother. Good for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Big ups to you, brother. Thanks for the loot.
And then one more game to and I did do a no-score first inning with Matt Harvey versus Cole Hamels, and I lost.
Uh-huh.
What was the run? I was out to dinner, dude. What was the run that lost? How did I lose that in the first inning?
I actually didn't get home from work until like the bottom of the third, but I think there was a solo homer. I think he gave up a solo shot. Dude, here's the thing. No score first inning, you know how I feel, but dude, especially in a bandbox like Philadelphia, like that home run would have been, an easy fly out in Citi Field. So it is what it is. I mean, Cole Hamels was good last night. And now we got your boy Harang today.
I saw that. But a couple of my boys are pitching today.
All right, we get to Harang.
Yes. All right, man. All right. So, and one more game. The Anaheim Ducks did their thing against Calgary. Man, they're up 3-1 now.
Yeah. Yeah,
so now it's coming back into Anaheim. So I think that's a pretty good spot. I think they're gonna end up taking care of business out there. What do you think?
That series is over. Calgary got out to a hot start. They put a couple goals up early. They actually had the lead for a decent amount, and then Anaheim just said, you know what, we're not screwing around.
No.
They can really score. Their defense steps up when it needs to. I think they go back to Anaheim. They close the door.
Sounds good, man. Sounds good. All right, Dan. I think we start off with the diamond today. How do you feel about that?
Let's do it.
All right, let me get a little intro music for the diamond and go from here, man. I've been doing like little intro music to the sports.
I like it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go over to the diamond since I got my boy, the evil genius, on so we could break down some of this and find some money, kid. What do you think about that?
Oh, there's money for days, kid.
All right, myself and Dr. Dan were in the lab a little earlier than the show started. We were talking. I like to do it. He calls me a lot earlier than the Dream does. Dan and I talk for like 20 minutes before the show. Dream calls like 3 minutes of. He's like, hey, can you give me this track, that track? I'm like, dude, we got to go live in like 3 minutes, bro. I can't do all that. But anyway, let's keep it moving. We got the Baltimore Orioles coming into the New York Stanks at 1:05 Eastern. I'm not going to read the pitcher name. I'm going to leave that up to you. Dan, do you have that up?
Yeah, I got that up. We got Whitley for the Yanks, 1-0 with a .75, going up against Chen for Baltimore, 0-1 with a 2.83. I'm all over the Yanks, actually.
And Yankees minus 125 with an under-over of 8. So you're feeling the Stanks, huh?
I am feeling the Stanks, man. They've been playing good baseball. I think especially in Yankee Stadium, I think Chen will get knocked around by that lineup a little bit today. Yeah, man. I like the Yankees.
Oh, okay. All right.
Baltimore's been playing like garbage too.
They have, man. I've been noticing that.
Yeah, I mean, I was never up on them. I wasn't up on the Yankees, to be perfectly fair, before the year started. I don't know. They're doing this with guys pitching amazing that you've either never heard of before or they were trash heap pitchers, a year ago. They got a guy in Tanaka that, even with these injuries, it's like if he can find a way to get back out there and get right, you're like, they could do something. And then it's the Yankees, and you're like, man, they'll just go out there and make a trade for somebody.
You're right, man.
They've been doing it in all sorts of ways, but that lineup's been very impressive. Chen's been okay. He hasn't been bad, but I really like the Yankees today.
All right, let's see. Oh, Jay Snyder's telling me it was a single stolen base and then a single with 2 outs in the bottom of the first. Oh! Kicked in the nuts with that. Damn. All right, whatever. It is what it is, man. So, we'll keep it moving from there. He said that one's not as bad as the Cards and Bucks one, where the the run scored on an error by the third baseman. Ugh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. Hey, you know what? Dr. Dan does not like those no-score first innings. I'm like a little junky about them, but I mean, like I said, guys, they're really light plays, man. It's gambling, I mean, when you're playing full games, you can live line your way out of bad plays. There, you can't live line your way out of anything. So it's just, $25, $50, 75. I actually put 85 on it last night. So, but I was able to get it back with the Rangers, thank God. But all right. So let's see, Dan. Scrolling to the next game we've got on a ticket. We got the Boston Red Sox coming into the Toronto Blue Jays, and Boston. Let's see. Boston's even money, Toronto minus 120 with an under-over of 9. What you got pitching there, brother?
So we got the amazing matchup. We have Joe Kelly for the Sox, 1-1 with a 5.72, and the tremendous Hutchison for the Jays, 2-0 with a 7.47.
That goes to show you how dope their bats are, huh?
Oh yeah, unbelievable.
2-0 with a 7 ERA, dude.
That being said, I am all over the Jays.
I like the Jays too, man.
All over the Jays.
You know what though, Dan? The Jays today is great, but tomorrow they got to go against Buckholes.
I know, I love it. I wish maybe I'll parlay the Jays today with the Jays tomorrow before this game even starts. I'll say Buckholes 100 times out of 100. But, the Red Sox have been terrible lately. I mean, absolutely garbage. So, they've had, 2? I think they're 2-8 in their last 10 or something like that. The Blue Jays won the series before that they played with them. They beat the crap out of them last night. And this is the first time that the Red Sox have been shut out all season. So, my thing is I look at a shutout in a couple different ways. And when you have a team like the Red Sox that has been pounding the baseball and still getting beat because their pitching has been terrible, part of me thinks that the bats might be taking the weekend off.
Okay.
I'm going pretty heavy on those Jays.
Thought you said you had one play today.
Yeah, but you know what,
not.
man? One play will be the parlay, no. My parlay of aces will be my one big parlay. We'll do that. There are a bunch of aces out there, guys. If you guys know me, I love doing that. We got, we'll go into each of them, but there's a bunch of really sharp aces today, and I've hit some big plays parlaying like a 4-teamer money line with some big aces on the mound. So, and if you get the first 3, because there's some late night games. You can easily hedge out.
All right. Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. All right. So the next one we got on the ticket, Dan, we've got the K-Sizzle Royals coming into the Detroit Tigers. I had a feeling Detroit was going to win yesterday.
I had Kansas City.
Did you really?
I had the Royals on the money line because I haven't been loving Price.
Yeah.
And, I just thought then they got down obviously early. But, man, just shows how scrappy that team is, and obviously losing basically on just terrible defensive play. I mean, it is what it is. But today we have Guthrie going 1-2 with a 6.52 against Sanchez 2-3 with a 5.11. I couldn't be staying farther enough away from this game.
Yeah. I mean, Price is, we've talked about this time and time again. I don't see him as a marquee pitcher. A lot of people do. I don't, especially when he's pitching in cold weather. But yesterday, man, I did mention that I was kind of feeling him, but I could not bring myself to bet against Kansas City with them bats.
Oh, I hear you.
You know what I mean? You got Hosmer, Kane, you know what I mean? Like, they got some really good athletes over there,
and
man.
their defense is amazing, The defense is absolutely unbelievable, which, when they, always lead, in the one sabermetric stat I like, because I always look for, before they had these, there was no way to really score defense, but it's like runs saved. They, always lead the league in that or whatever. So even if you have a pitcher on the mound that's struggling a little bit, your outfield's going to get to those balls in the gap that maybe other guys won't. So it's really, really hard to ever go against Kansas City.
Right.
And,
Right.
and they did get the Price yesterday. And obviously he had that freak injury where he stepped on a bat in the on-deck circle. And I'm not sure what's up with him now.
Oh, wow.
But,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. He, stepped on a bat. So, he messed up his ankle or something.
Damn, man.
Yeah, so we'll see, but that's
staying far away.
Really bad.
Staying far away from that game. Okay. Next one we got on the ticket, we got the Atlanta Braves coming into the Washington Nasties, and Nasties are minus 150 with an under/over of 7.5. What you got there?
So we got Julio Teheran going for the Braves, 3-1 with a 3.82. Against Dougie Fister, 2-1 with a 2.61 ERA. And I think this is one that I'm just going to fall back on. I like the Nationals. I think the Nationals will probably win. It's just minus 155. Teheran hasn't been bad. The Nationals, if Bryce Harper doesn't hit, 2 or 3 home runs, maybe they won't score a run, That's the thing you got to think about. He's just been a machine lately, and they've been playing much better on offense as a whole. But I just don't love it at minus 155. So
I got it. Okay. Let me take a look at some of the odds here on SportsBettersTV.com because I want to just make sure I have everything up. So next week we got on the ticket, we got the Minnesota Twins coming into the Cleveland Indians. How about them Twins, kid?
Oh yeah, that was my favorite play yesterday. Out of all of them, the Indians are garbage, and Minnesota, they just are doing it with I don't even know what, But it's pretty crazy to me. But so today we have, where is that game? We have Hughes going for the Twins, 1-4 with a 5.02. Against Chen for Cleveland, who I think this is his first start of the year. So I'm backing far away from this game. Hughes has been terrible. Just downright atrocious. So I don't really know. I lean Minnesota, but again, on the road with a bad pitcher, I just can't take that.
That's really tough to do, man. That's really tough to do. Next one, because and especially when we got the next game on the ticket, which we're going to discuss. We've got the Cincinnati Reds coming into the Chicago White Sox, and Cincinnati's got my boy on the mound, kid. Which I think after getting pounded in his last outing, I think he's going to tear it up today. Cincinnati minus 137 with an under/over of 8. That's a lot of runs.
It's a lot of runs.
What do you got?
Yeah, so obviously, guys, this is the first game of a doubleheader after the rain out last night. So we have Cueto, who's 2-3 with a 2.72, going up against Noesi, 0-3 with a 6.75.
All right.
Yeah, I'm with you. I know it's a road game, but the White Sox are garbage, and Cueto will shut them down. That lineup is nothing, and Noesi has been terrible. And I think Cueto, obviously, being the pitcher that he is, wants and needs a good bounce back. So I'm all over Cincinnati. I'm just trying to figure out, because I know some books haven't released their line on this game yet because it's the doubleheader. So I'm just waiting to see where the line comes out with, but I also might pair that with something else.
Cincinnati's my big play today, dude.
All right.
Cincinnati is superior in most categories here. They're 14-14 coming into the Chicago White Sox, who are 10-15. Chicago White Sox scored 3.32 runs a game. Cueto, I mean, he's 2-3 because of the run support just hasn't been there. He's 2.72 ERA. Right. Like you said with Noesi, I mean, he's not that good. So. Cincinnati, let's see. The only issue I have here is Cincinnati's 1-11 straight up in the last 12 of them playing Chicago, man. Wow. That's a crazy trend, but I don't think I don't remember seeing Cueto out there in that situation. Yeah,
I mean, and I got to see how far that goes back because obviously the White Sox being an AL team, they don't play them that often.
Yeah, that's got to go back a few years.
Yeah, that's got, but the other thing, and we talked about this before the show, the other reason why I like Cueto, and guys, this is a big thing. When you have a National League ace that goes into an American League park where you can get a DH for him, that, if he's pitching dope and, you don't have to worry about him getting pulled, like if they're only up, 2-1 or 2-0, he'll stay out there, because you don't need to pull him for a pinch hitter. So it makes it extra nice.
So just kind of for all the novice baseball fans out there, Dan, just explain. So a DH is a designated hitter, as we know.
Yeah.
And so you're saying that when they're playing AL teams?
Yeah, when they're playing in an AL park, when you're playing in an AL park, you get the DH, right? In a National League park, National League rules. American League park, American League rules. So, so Cueto will get a DH today, obviously being in Chicago. And, so you get to add an extra batter, which I think for the Reds is a good thing. They can use as much offense as they can get.
Absolutely.
And, for Cueto, what it means is if it's a close game either way and he's pitching well, he'll be able to stay out there for a while. So.
Awesome. Yeah, hopefully they don't keep him out as long as they kept the Dodgers kept Kershaw out in the last outing. They had him out there until like the middle of the 8th inning. Dude, we had a 3-0 lead against the Brew Crew this week. It was like early in the week. I want to say it was Monday, and Kershaw just started getting blown up. And then the reliever that they brought in got like the first pitch let up a game tying hit or something like that.
Wait 1 second. I see something here that in a different site that I'm looking at that is saying that Cueto might not go up against Noesi. They're saying, and I gotta wait, and I think this is why some books are holding back. There's a chance that Cueto goes up against Rodon
in the second game.
No. They might. They're not. They're saying that it might change. Like right now, Rodon is scheduled to face Marquis in the second game. But I'm seeing a couple sites that are saying that Rodon might slot into that first game against Cueto.
Okay.
So then, because then you would have two. I mean, Rodon, I don't want to call him an ace just yet, but he's their top prospect. I mean, he's an amazing pitcher. He's 0-0 with a 2.84. And then what you would have is you'd have Marquis against Noesi, which both matchups are better, right? You would have your best pitcher against their best pitcher, and then probably your worst pitcher against their worst pitcher. So it gives you a better chance to win one or both games.
So why don't we bang the under 8 as an action play?
Yeah, but that's gonna. Yeah, I mean,
for the first game.
Yeah, that might be the way to go. But the thing is, if Noesi gets the start, then he gets banged around. You could really regret that.
Yeah, but it's the Cincinnati bats. You know what I'm saying? It's not like
I know, and the White Sox bats are brutal too.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, I mean, that might be the play.
What we're saying, guys, is that you can bet listed pitchers and you can bet action. So what action is that any pitcher can go. Listed means that you have to have the two listed pitchers that are in the respective book at that time that have to go. You know what I'm saying? So if you're pretty confident that they're going to change it and put the ace in there versus Cueto, might be something to take a look at. I'm not recommending it, but hey, you guys could do your own stuff. I'm just saying that it might be something to take a look at. You know what I mean? You go action under 8 and see what you can end up doing with that. So that might be something, Dan, to take a look at, brother.
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to mention, Dan, I mentioned this on the show yesterday, and I'm sure you'll agree with me 100%. When you are doing in-game wagering during baseball, okay, and I said this yesterday, guys, I apologize for repeating myself, but there's a lot of listeners that listen on the weekends that can't during the week because of work. But when you're looking at the, let's say you're in the middle of the game and you're looking at a total, what you got to do is you got to look at if the home team looks like they're either leading at that point or they're going to, win the game.
Right.
You got to remember that the home team gets 3 less outs because they will not come up in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Right.
So if you're looking at over, you got to remember that in the back of your brain that there's, that the home team's only going to get 24 outs because they're only going to be batting 8 innings.
Exactly.
If the home team is down and you're pretty confident that they're going to have to come up in the bottom of the 9th, then you may want to consider the over. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But just in the back of your brains, you got to remember that you're getting 3 less outs if the home team looks like if they're either winning at that point or they look like they're going to win the game. So keep that in the back of your brains when you're playing total in-game with baseball. And another thing as well, if you're playing totals in baseball and you're doing live in-game stuff, take a look at the umpire strike zone. I could tell you that the other night with the Yankees in Baltimore, Dan, the umpire strike zone was all over the place, dude. I mean, it was above the belly, it was below the knees, it was like,
Umpires are so bad now, though, that, there are a few umps out there where consistently they'll have at least a consistent strike zone. But I feel like umpires are so terrible these days that, a guy could be calling the low inside pitch, a strike one game, the next game he's out there, up and away. It's just, these guys are bad.
Yes, but I'm saying that when there's a really, really big strike zone, it makes it very, very easy for the pitchers to pitch strikes. So in that situation, an over would not be the play because it's favorable to the pitchers. Now, when the umpire has like a strike zone the size of a pinhole, then it makes it more favorable to the batter. So then you got to start thinking of over. So just something to think about.
I agree with that to a point, but also you got to watch out for your better hitting teams out there because they will adjust to that. They'll become more aggressive, and when you become more aggressive, you tend to also run into more balls. So, I look at that both ways. I'm not a huge over/under plays guy. And live lines, I'm more into money line live lines, especially underdog money line live lines. So, but it's not a bad thing to think about. It's just sometimes it can definitely backfire.
Absolutely. And you also got to look at, if you're doing in-game wagering, you got to look at who's coming up to bat. Is it top of the order? Is it the bottom of the order? You know what I mean? There's a lot of things to look at. You just can't go in and say, I like the number, so I'm going to play it. You know what I mean? You got to really look at this, and you got to do your homework, man. You really got to investigate and try to sniff these out. And if you lose the first game, don't be chasing and doubling down on the second game. You know what I'm saying? Keep your game, keep your wagers the same. Don't be chasing and all that because that's how we get hurt.
Right.
I can't even tell you how much. I started out playing $500 a game back in the day. I'd lose the 5 o'clock, or I'd lose the college football. The first game, then I would double down a second game. By Saturday night going into Sunday, I'm down like $3,000, and then trying to get it back with the NFL, and then the NFL start blowing up. Before you know it, you're down, in a major hole, guys. We don't want anybody to be in any holes ever.
Right.
So just keep that in the back of your brains. Next one we got on the ticket. So you and I are on Johnny Cueto today.
Yes. And I just got to wait for the matchup. If it stays the way it is, if it's Cueto and Nuesi, I'm on that. Yeah, I'm on that big.
All right, cool. But if it's the other guy, then you're going to fall back?
I probably will fall back.
Okay.
I probably will fall back. I want to see the under action play is, but if it doesn't change, even if it goes to 7.5 or 7, I would still probably throw down on the under if the matchup changes. You know what I mean?
I'm going to take a shot with the action under 8.
I like it.
Because Cincinnati's bats they don't scare you. They're only scoring 4 runs a game, bro.
I know, but
how are the bullpens for these respective teams?
Well, I mean, decent, but I mean, the Reds I think have a good bullpen.
They do,
especially with Chapman.
Okay, all right. So the Reds got a good bullpen, and how about the White Sox?
I haven't seen too much of their pen, but I don't think it's been terrible. I got to look up what their pen ERA is, but I just haven't watched a ton of the White Sox because I haven't really liked them at all this year.
I don't blame you.
So it's been pretty bad. But I mean, I'm looking. I mean, they've lost. Yeah, they give up a fair amount of runs. They have a fair amount of runs. So, but the other thing too is if you get to a starter early like Noesi, who is, like I said, I mean, he has an almost 7 ERA, and I think the Reds can still get to him. So they'll turn it on eventually. I think the offense will be okay eventually.
Guys, if you do that play, if you do the action pitchers minus, or with the total of 8, make it a very light play, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't totals in baseball is not really my thing. You know what I'm saying? Just it's just something to look at. I'm just pointing something out that may be attractive to certain people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not saying go ham on anything. I'm just saying just keep that in the back of your brain when you're looking at these lines today. Big ups to Scott Weaver. What's going on, buddy? Good morning. I got David Duncan. I got Cash Action Bets. I got my man Mike. Mike, if you're having a problem listening to the show on our website, you can always go over to Spreaker, just punch in sports, and we're number 1 on there, brother. So just do that. That's all you got to do there. Let's see what else I got. Got winning picks out there. Got AZ Wildcat 83. What's up? Next game we got on the ticket, Dan, is, let me scroll over to this. We got the Texas Rangers, kid. Where'd they come from? Playing Tampa Biscuit, kid. Tampa Biscuit minus 170 juice with an over of 7.5. Wow, that's a lot for them. What's up?
Oh, yeah. So for Texas, we got Detweiler 0-3 with a 6.57. Going up against Andres 0-1 with a 5.54 for the Rays. I loved the Rays yesterday. For some reason, everybody was trying to talk me off of it. I have no idea why. Carnes has been good, and he's been good on the road, and I mean, we pounded it. So today, man, I don't know. I lean Tampa Bay. I kind of want, but again, 2 bad pitchers. The over, I kind of like, but I'm just gonna stay away from this.
Stay away, Dan. Stay away, Dan. You don't need to play every game. You know what I'm saying?
Not every game.
It's all good.
Yeah. No, but I lean Tampa Bay and I lean the over, but that's all I got.
All right. Let me get this pop in here. I really love this track right now. All right, Jim Rohn is a douche. I got JC, SBTV Nation. What's up? Got Rainmaker saying we could possibly play the White Sox team total under.
Yeah, I know he loves those, and they're good plays sometimes. Like I said, there's only so many plays I can possibly make today.
Scott Weaver's telling me that the Reds bullpen is worse ERA behind the Oakland A's, man.
Okay.
All right, so Jason Bryce, Rafael Mota, what's up? Good morning. How we doing out there? Let's see. All right, so I have no opinion on that Texas Tampa Biscuit. Next one we got on the ticket, we got the New York Mets at the Philadelphia Phillies. And let's see, the New York Mets minus 120 with an over of 7.5. Got my boy Harang on the mound, kid.
Yep. The Harang, 3-2 with a 2.35. And then we got Nice going for the Mets, 2-2 with a 2.4. I like the under in this game.
I like the under too, but I don't think I'm going to play it. Kid, my boy Harang has been tearing it up, man.
Yep.
On the road, too. He's been coming out and doing it on the road. The thing that scares me about them is the Philadelphia Phillies with the 2.83 runs a game.
Right. So it's very, very hard to, not that the Mets offense has been great, but, it's hard to take a team when they can't score over 3 runs a game.
I know.
And the Mets haven't been terrible against Harang. I'm looking at the numbers now. They're hitting 255 with a 358 on base percentage against him. That's not bad. That's not bad. Daniel Murphy's owned him. I mean, absolutely owned him in his career. So we'll see. It's too bad David Wright isn't around because David Wright has absolutely murdered Aaron Harang throughout his career. He's hitting .433 against him.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's a problem. And David Wright obviously dealing with another lower back injury, of course. But, I don't play against my Mets. But the under I do like here.
Okay. Scrolling to the next one here. I mean, Harang has done really well, man. So, I know. Definitely something to look at.
But so is Nice.
Yeah, definitely. So, we'll go from there, man. Next one we got on the ticket, we got the St. Lucia Cardinals coming into Pittsburgh Pirates. Pretty much even money all across the board. Pittsburgh's a slight favorite here, over 7.5.
Yeah, we have Martinez going for the Cards, 3-0 with a 3.64. Going up against Vance Worley for the Pirates, who is 2-2 with a 3.9. He has not been bad, but I love the Cardinals at plus money today.
Dude, the Cardinals are the hottest team in baseball, brother.
22-7. 22-7.
Yeah, they're 10 out of 11.
I did not see this coming, and anybody who tells me they did is a liar. Especially after the Wainwright injury. This is unbelievable. But their offense has been amazing. The Pirates have not looked good. And again, just St. Louis with a guy who's 3-0 with a 3.6 ERA. For a team that puts up a ton of runs, I really like that. I really like St. Louis today.
Wow, on the road in Pittsburgh. I mean, last year. Dude, what happened to Pittsburgh at home, man? Last year it was like the money play. Anytime they were home, you could just take them towards the end of the year. Now it's just like, they're like a 500 team at home.
Oh, I know. It's, I can't really, it's still early. I mean, maybe, but they also have a really tough division, and the division is much improved. So, they haven't played well against the Reds. They obviously haven't played well against the Cardinals. They haven't really played well against anybody, but their division especially, I think in their last 10 or 12 games have been against the division, they've only won 2. One against the Reds and one against the Cubs. The Cardinals showed yesterday, obviously, they just mashed the baseball. Any guy in that lineup can hurt you at any time. And I think they go out there and get it done again today.
All right. Big ups to J-Cast. I got CDN Capper Kings. I got Randy Lockhart. Sylvia retweeting the show. What's up, guys? Next one we got on the ticket, we got the Chicago Cubs coming into the Milwaukee Brewers. So far, Dan, the only thing I'm feeling is Cueto right now. Let's see. Pretty much even money all across the board. Chicago's actually slightly favored in this matchup, kid. Talk to me about this.
As they should be, because I like the Cubs here a lot today. We have the worst team in baseball in the Brewers with one of the worst pitchers in baseball right now in Loesch. 1-4 with a 7.01. Going up against Wood, who's 2-1 with a 4.4. The Brewers are just bad. The Cubs have seemed to really hit a little bit of a stride here. So, when the Cubs, I got that like almost even money, like pretty much right there. I think it was like 101.
Oh, okay.
I love that.
All right, good, man. Good. So, I guess we'll keep it moving from there. So you're feeling the Cubbies. I mean, the problem with the Cubbies, yeah. I have an issue with their bats. It seems like I'm always stomach aching.
They might have the best and hottest hitter right now is Rizzo.
Yeah, good point. I always struggle with them. Every time I bet them, it's just like I got to sit there and sweat out their bats. You know what I mean? It's like, the last time I won with them was with Leicester. They won 1-0. I'm like,
I know. But as of late, they've put up a few runs, even against good pitching in the Cardinals. They might have, they put up a 4 spot, a 6 spot. Yeah, they had the 1 spot, but last night they put up a 7 spot. They put up 9 runs. Their offense has been better as of late. And I think that they lost 2 out of 3 to the Brewers at home. Like what was that, a week ago? I think they got a little payback to give, and I think it continues today.
All right. Sounds good, Dan. Sounds good. So let's see. The next one we got on the ticket is the second part of the doubleheader. We got the Cincinnati Reds coming into the Chicago White Sox yet again at 7 o'clock. I do not have a line on this, and we don't even know the pitching.
Right. We kind of touched on this when we talked about the first game. I'm not going to sit here and talk about it when I don't even know what the matchups are going to be.
Right.
I mean, there's no point. I will, once all that gets settled out, the first pitch of the first game isn't scheduled, I think, till 4:05. So we should probably know, I don't know, hopefully like a half hour to an hour.
Got it.
What the deal is, and, we'll throw something out there then.
Absolutely. All right. So scrolling to the next event I have here, I've got the San Diego Padres coming into the Arizona Diamondbacks. And under-over's 8, and Arizona's slightly favored, scoring 4.79 runs a game, kid. What you got there?
Yeah, we have Ross going for the Pods, 1-3 with a 4.15, going up against Anderson, 0-1 with a 3.38.
All right.
Yeah, I like the Padres today, actually.
I like this team in general, the Padres.
Yes.
You know what's funny, though? If you're a $100 bettor, betting them every game, you made $0.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Zero. It's dead even, dude. And if you bet in Arizona, you're down $28 on the year. What a waste of time that would be. I don't know. Who the hell would bet these teams every single day, game in and game out?
I do not know. But, I just think, the Padres got embarrassed on Thursday, obviously, and then they came out and won the close game yesterday. And I think that, Ross is better than his record indicates. I mean, he's got a 4.15 ERA. But, he hasn't really gotten a lot of run support. And, I think the Padres' bats can get to Anderson.
Yeah.
So, that's why I'm the Padres.
Okay, man. All right. So, yeah, I mean, the Pods team has been pretty reliable. Even though they're, 16 and 15, it's been all right. You know what I mean?
So, and I mean, Tyson Ross, I mean, he lost his last game. And this is what I'm saying. Like, he only gave up 2 runs on 7 hits. In 7 innings against the Giants. So I think today, for him to keep not getting run support with that offense is pretty unlikely. Yes. I think if he goes out and gives up 2 runs today, I think, the Padres win a game 5-2, 6-2.
All right, cool deal. Big ups to my man Rick Lopez. I got Millhouse out there saying top of the morning to you non-cappers. Thanks, brother. We appreciate that. Got Mike out there as well, rocking and rolling this morning, guys. Next one we got on the ticket here. I'm staying away from that game, Dan. I don't like it.
Okay.
Especially this Arizona team. Their totals are always like 9, 8.5, 9.5. You know what I'm saying?
Chase Field. You guys got to remember Chase Field it's a lot like Coors Field in the sense, it's a higher elevation, it's very dry. The balls tend to fly, and that's why. So.
All right, you know what? I did not know that. So, what'd you say? It's Chase Field?
Yep.
Chase Field. Okay. All right, guys. Something to keep in your brains. No wonder why those totals are always up there, man. I was trying to figure that out.
Oh yeah, Chase Field, Arizona, anywhere in the desert. It's like, and the only reason I even know this is because the Mets farm team is in Vegas, and Vegas is it's insane. Games are 9-8 out there all the time.
Okay.
And then, Arizona, I've always heard that it's like that, and the scores are always high. You got that dry air, it makes the ball fly. It's always really hot, too, which always has an impact. And when the stadium's closed, it gets a little humid, which also makes an impact. So,
Very good information, Dan. Very good information.
No doubt.
What were you saying something about, I remember back in the day, dude, when we first got together, you were saying something about, eye color and the sun and stuff like that.
Yeah,
what was that all about, dude?
Okay, so it's a common known fact that hitters with blue eyes do much worse during day games because when the sun's out and glaring, it takes a blue-eyed person an extra fraction of a second to pick up a moving object, which in baseball, that's not good. That's not
sick,
good.
Dude. That's so sick. Do you put that into your repertoire when you're looking at these games?
I mean, it depends. Like, for instance, when Josh Hamilton was at the top of his game, and I would always fade him during, and fade the Rangers during a day game.
Unbelievable.
Especially a day game after a night game, because you never know if he was out there partying, first of all.
Yeah.
And second of all, no, he was terrible during day games. And that's where I learned about the blue-eyed thing, is they were talking about it, and, it's a very common thing. New York Times published an article on this. It came out because in 2011, Hamilton was actually informed by the Rangers medical staff. Blue-eyed people have a harder time filtering out the glare than brown-eyed or green-eyed even people.
Wow, that's unbelievable, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah,
I love it.
I like all this weird stuff, but I don't know. I mean, it is, if you had, I guess, a team of Aryan baseball players,
right.
then you would obviously fade them every day game.
Yes. Yeah. Good point, man. Good point. All right, so scrolling, just a little tidbit of information from the evil genius. That's why you have that title, brother. Next one we got on the ticket, we got the L.A. Dodgers coming into the Colorado Rockies. And L.A.'s got Kershaw, Colorado, De La Rosa. I'm sorry, that's your thing to be announcing the pitchers. My bad, Dan.
No problem.
LA minus 200 with an under-over of 8.5. Talk to me about what we talked about before the show got started.
Yeah, so we got the man, the myth, the legend, Clayton Kershaw, who's been rather average this year, 1-2 with a 3.72, going up against De La Rosa, 0-2 with a 9 ERA.
Woo!
Clayton Kershaw dominates the Rockies, absolutely murders them. Coors Field, Chavez Ravine, doesn't matter. I don't have the stat up right now. I lost that page, but I know he's 4-0 against the Rockies at Coors Field in 6 starts. He has just over a 3.04 ERA at Coors Field, and he's going up against a dude that has a 9 ERA and is just getting bludgeoned to death. Now it's obviously at minus 200. So what do we do? We're going to pair this with something, and I have the game that I think we're about to talk about that we pair it with.
Very interesting. Very interesting. So, all right. So you like Kershaw in this spot?
Love Kershaw.
Woo.
I love Kershaw. I love the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers offense is going to absolutely murder this dude tonight.
All right.
And I'm going to, so what I'm also going to do is I'm going to pop Dodgers run line.
Okay. You're going to go run line, huh? You're going to do minus 1.5 or minus 1?
Minus 1.5, because minus 1.5 is already at minus 120. I might even wait and throw the adjusted run line down at minus 2.5. I've been doing well with the adjusted run line.
I love it, dude. That's so great. It's so great that you do that. All right. So that's pretty much how confident you are in the Dodgers today. Next,
I am extremely confident.
Next one we got on the ticket is the Houston Astros coming into the LA Angels, and I know that you're licking your chops over this game.
Licking my chops.
Houston slightly favored with an under-over of 7.
Yeah, so we got Schumacher going for the Angels, 2-2 with a 5.4 ERA. Going up against, right now, my favorite guy to watch, obviously, that's not on my team, in Mr. Keuchel. 3-0 with a 0.8 ERA. Dude is just a beast. The fact that, I popped on this game last night because I had both teams at minus 110. I don't care that it's on the road, and I'm going to pair him up with Clayton Kershaw and get dope odds on that.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. I mean, that would make that pay incredible, by the way.
Yeah, and I even like the Astros minus 1.5 at plus 145. I think I don't like this Angels lineup enough to think that they're going to be the team that gets to this kid.
Yeah.
And Schumacher hasn't been good. I mean, he's got a 5.5 ERA. The Astros can hit.
Yeah, but it's still I was saying this the other day, Dan, and you missed it. You weren't on the show, but we had the Astros minus 170, minus 200, and I forgot what the third one is, but I tried to put out a life jacket to everybody to stay away from the Astros when they're over 200 juice. it's still the Astros, and they end up getting smoked.
But their odds are. I mean, right now. I can get them at minus.
Oh no, yeah. Today's a different package. I'm saying when they were heavily favored.
Yeah. No, I hear you, and that's definitely true because they're going to win a lot of games with their bats, which is hard, I mean, but when this kid's on the mound, I'll take him every single game this season.
All right, my man Irvin is telling me that he's got some NBAs up his sleeve that he thinks the Clippers are going to face the Bulls. But we'll talk about that when we get to the NBAs, brother. Next one we've got on the ticket here, Dan, is... So you're feeling Mr. Keuchel today?
I love him.
All right, Miami Marlins at the San Francisco Giants. And I can see the under-over 6.5 with San Fran minus 160. What you got there?
Yeah, so we got Mad Bum, 3-1 with a 3.03 going up against Phelps, 1-0 with a 3.24. I like the Giants. I like Bumgarner today. I think he shuts down the Marlins. I'm going to look for something to pair it with. The only thing that always concerns me is those Giants bats.
Yes, and they're actually worse at home than they are on the road with the bats.
And I mean, Phelps hasn't been terrible. Hasn't been terrible. So, that's where my concern is, but I think Bumgarner is really setting up for like this really killer groove that he gets on. So I could see him just absolutely dominating this lineup, which is why I like him.
All right, let me see what's my man Bumgarner been doing in the last. I mean, last game he. Oh wait, no, that's versus the Marlins. Pitcher logs. Here we go. Let's see what he's done. Let's see. This is just versus the Marlins. I can't find him like what he's done.
He's won his last 2 games. In the last game, he went 7 1/3 shutout innings, only giving up 2 hits against the Padres at home. At the Dodgers, remember that was the game against Kershaw, where he went 8 full, only 5 hits and an earned run. He struck out 15 batters in his last 2 games. The game before that, he went 6 1/3. He only gave up 2 runs. He settled down. He had that good start at Arizona to start the season, and then he had a bump in the road at San Diego and at Arizona. But his last 3 starts have been amazing. They've been really dope. Really dope.
And, I mean, if you think about that, at San Diego and at Arizona, that's not the easiest play. Those aren't the easiest parks to pitch in. You know what I'm saying? Versus those
definitely
teams.
Not. Definitely not.
All
so, I think just going up against a Marlins team, I mean, Bumgarner is everybody's pitcher over Keuchel, over Kershaw. Everybody's riding Bumgarner on like the daily fantasy league stuff, which I do tend to look at a little bit. And I think they're in the right. I think that's the right move because I think this guy goes out there and just goes like 8 innings of shutout ball.
All right. Sounds good, Dan. We'll keep it moving from there to the last game we got on the ticket, which is the Oakland A's at the Seattle Mariners. Seattle minus 125 with an under-over of 7.5. Ugly game here, bro.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Oakland, for finding another way to kick me square in the balls. I mean, just unbelievable, Both these teams have been bad. Oakland's 12-19. They got Hahn on the mound today, 1-2 with a 4.3. And Seattle's been just as bad, 12-17 with Happ on the mound and 2-1 with a 3.51. You know what? Forget it. I have no idea. It's just let's flip a coin and pick who's going to win.
Yes.
I have no idea, and I won't even be chasing the slate. So,
All right. Hey, we'll keep it moving from there. Big ups to Randomly Unpredictable. I've got Tip Talker out there. Got my man James that's saying maybe a Kershaw Bumgarner first 5 innings.
That is what. Oh, first 5 innings.
Money line. Please,
first 5 innings.
140. Pays 140.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm looking at that right now. Huh. That is.
Might not be something to
I'm thinking of going
away
maybe
from,
Giants,
you know
Dodgers in a West Coast money line action.
Really?
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go Kershaw and Bumgarner. I'm gonna leave. I might even go with a 3-teamer with Kershaw, Bumgarner, and Keuchel.
Okay.
Because I really like
How
that.
about my boy Cueto, kid? Come on.
Well, Cueto, I gotta wait to see who he's going up against. If he's going up against Noesi, I'm gonna throw out my quad laser ace play. My 4 aces in Keuchel, Cueto, Kershaw, and Bumgarner. I will definitely play that, guys. That is gambling. That is straight gambling. Okay, like you want to tell me on that? It's cool. I have made money off those before, but you got to watch every game. You got to be able to hedge out with live lines and things like that. So you got to be invested. But, I love when you got a bunch of aces going against non-aces on the same day.
Yes.
None of these guys, unless, like I said, if Cueto ends up facing Rodon, and I hate to call him an ace so early, but he is really good, that's when you might fall back on that one. But, yeah, man, I mean, definitely going to roll it with if he's against Noesi.
All right.
Why not? I'll pay out plus 700.
Can you tweet and text me that as that materializes as you find out? Are you going to be available to do that today?
It just came out. So here we go. Game 2 of the Reds has just been announced. Nope, Rodon is starting the second game. So it is Noesi against Cueto. Oh yeah. We're going Cueto all the way now that it's been finalized.
Perfect. That's my play right now.
Yep.
That's my play. Okay, perfect, dude. If we can only get the Giants' bats to work, man, I would be all over them.
Oh, I know. And, the thing is with that game, though, if we're good on, the Giants and the Astros are going to go off at the same time. And what's crazy to me is even though Bumgarner's going for the Giants, if I had to rank those 4 plays, like 1, 2, 3, 4, I almost I'd like Kershaw the best just because of, who he's going up against and that matchup. And then it's Cueto, and then it's kind of, I like Keuchel better than Bumgarner. So you're going to have to look at live lines on this if you want to try and hedge out. But there'll definitely be opportunities for that for sure.
Definitely.
But, the last games all go off within an hour of each other, so that's what's going to make it tough.
Yeah, and the live lines, guys, with baseball, if you haven't done it yet, if you're just starting to get involved with in-game wagering, do it for like $5 because there's a lot of mistakes that you can make with live in-game wagering. So start it out with $5, get a feel for it, boost it up to $10, $20, whatever, you know what I'm saying, until you really master it because – I mean, there are some major bankroll killing mistakes that you could do with live lines. So, and I've done them. I've done everything as far as mistakes. Dude, I've put the wrong side in. I've done. I mean, you name it. I put both teams in where I lost both. I mean, it's just there's a lot of bad situations that you can get involved in. So when you're starting out, just do like $5, just to see what it is. You know what I mean? And just master it that way. And shop your lines because you can get plus 400 on one book and plus like 275 on the other for the same team. So, obviously you want the plus 400 price in that situation.
Oh, hell yeah. Absolutely. And by the way, if you take that 4-teamer with all the aces, Cueto, Kershaw, Keuchel, and Bumgarner, plus 715. I might just throw $35 on it. I mean, $35 pays out like $250.
Yes.
Just to have a little bit of fun. Like, this is what I'm saying, guys. We ain't throwing down $500 on this. It's like, on a parlay like this, you got to be smart. I mean, I don't know anybody who, unless you're a millionaire, I hope, $250 still nice to make it up from 34.
All right. I got my man, the Kid Picks out there. What's going on? I got Alex out there as well. Good morning, guys. Let's get this money. All right, Dan, let's shoot over to the NBAs and see what we got there. How about that?
Let's do it.
All right. Let me get the little intro stuff going on here. All right, guys, let's shoot over to the NBA, man. We got a couple games on the ticket. We got a 5 p.m. Eastern start. We got an 8 p.m. Eastern start. First game we got on the ticket, we got the Atlanta Hawks coming into the Washington Wizards. Now, here's the issue with this game. John Wall probably will not play.
Nope.
Day-to-day with a wrist injury. I'm hearing mixed
stuff.
He's got 5. That's what I've been hearing. He's got broken bones, man. Guys, that's the most damaging injury you can have playing basketball. It's common sense. You can't dribble the ball. You can't dunk. You can't do anything. You catch a pass. You could you could shatter your hand. I mean, there's just so many different situations that are bad for this kid. And he's trying to do rehab, dude. And I mean, doing rehab for broken bones in a day is just not going to work, man.
Oh.
They probably got him drinking 2 gallons of milk a day.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? But,
just shoot calcium directly into his hand.
Yeah, exactly.
No, man, there's nothing that, he's still in pain. You can't look. It is. It's like I read an article and it's just like the cruelty of it all is basically what it was titled, and it is cruel timing, man. I feel bad. Like, kid was, just monstrous, right?
Yeah.
That being said, we got to figure out what we're gonna do today with the money, and I don't know, man. I part of me thinks that they'll still find a way to get it done.
I think they could get it done today. I think they can. I'm not saying I'm betting it. I'm just saying that there is a chance that Washington could still win without Mr. Wall. I mean, they got Gortat out there, a couple other really good players that are in that roster as well that could pick up the pieces. Take a look at it, guys.
Home crowd.
Yeah, you got the home crowd. Washington is +4 at home.
Right.
Atlanta has not been the best team on the road.
No.
Okay, so just something to take a look at, man. I mean, all the other guys, you got Paul Pierce out there. He's going to step up. I don't know. I can't recommend taking Atlanta -4 points on the road, dude. I mean, especially with this pesky Washington team. Now, I can tell you this. For Washington to win the East, I found it on one book +1,800 this morning. Dude, it's a 1-1 series. You know what I'm saying? They could still win the series. You know what I mean? Just something to take a look at, guys. So
right.
I have a lot of money invested in both of these teams to win the East, to be honest with you. And I have
I'm
potential.
not saying I'm taking it. I'm not saying I'm taking it, but I do lean Washington, and at the +4, I don't know, man. I think they come back there and they'll be energized to get it done.
Next one we got on ticket, guys. So I'm gonna just watch that game and go from there. I got actually a family get together today. So they better know that the game is going to be on. My in-laws, dude, not one of them watches sports.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. So I'm sitting there, screaming at the TV when everybody's over.
Dude, that's why we started. We just broke away from the main family for like Thanksgiving and stuff like that. Because, we set up the big table with the big screen TV. We keep football on while we're eating, And it's like everybody wasn't down with that. So we're just like, all right, we're breaking away. We're staying home.
Zay is saying
we still got 16 people. We got 16 crazy sports fans instead of, 32 people that are stuffy and, got a problem with people going crazy.
Yeah, my man Zay is saying we need the dream for the NBA. Just follow him on Twitter. He'll put his stuff out later on. Got my man Follow the Money retweeting the show as well. What's up, guys? All right, so scrolling to the next one here. We've got the Golden State Warriors coming into the Memphis Grizzlies. And Memphis Grizzlies have Conley back. And Dan, let's discuss this a little bit. Now, people may think I'm crazy here, but Memphis is a really good defensive team, and all year long they were missing the scoring. This Conley guy has really stepped up his game and almost filled that gap of being that scoring option that they needed.
Yeah.
So, between him and Randolph and Gasol, Golden State, they forced them into a lot of bad shots last game in Golden State.
Yeah,
now, granted,
they did, and
go ahead.
I agree. I think, they forced him into bad shots. They took him out of rhythm. The defense has been good both games, even losing. And last night I actually did something. I popped on the Grizzlies small play, but to win the series because it was plus 425.
Not bad. I have them in every potential future matchup that there is. Guys, yesterday, listen to this. Yesterday I picked up, it was $100, pays $70,000. I picked up the Atlanta Hawks versus the Memphis Grizzlies in a final matchup for $100. I mean, dude, I could have Golden State up on the Grizzlies in the elimination game, 20 points and still get my money out of that.
Yeah. Right now, if you take your boy and the Grizzlies to both win their series, that's plus 1,100.
Yeah, I know. But so what I did was, now I'm sitting there with my kid, and I'm like, dude, should I put another 100 on it? He's like, yeah, go for it. It pays 100. 200 pays 140,000 now. So I'm like, all right, let me do it. So I put it in, and I forgot to hit confirm. So I only got the 100 to make 70,000. Hopefully, hopefully it'll pop back up at those same odds. But now I'm seeing it at like 40-1 and stuff like that. So I don't think I'm going to get it. But anyway, going back to this game, dude, I think Memphis can win a game or two at home. So. You know what I'm saying? They're good. They're not bad.
No, not at all.
They're not bad. They're not bad. I'm surprised because they were dog crap like towards the end of the year. So I'm like, Golden State's 9-1 straight up in the last 10 games. I get it. Golden State averages 110 points a game. I get it. But with that scoring option with Conley now, it just changes the complexion of the series. I think that I don't
agree,
think,
and I think they got a big lift just from being out there, and then like on top of it, for him to be playing as well as he is, like coming right back into the thick of it, that's big. And then you get to come home and get that good home cooking. You got a little rest, and you get to go back out there, and confidence is a big thing. Especially, in a sport like basketball, you win one, and then you start thinking you can win another one, and especially taking one on the road.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I'm trying to think of, other than maybe like my boy versus the Celtics, and the Wizards versus Toronto, the other dominating series last round was the Memphis Grizzlies beating the snot out of Portland.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, just something to think about. Just something to think about.
They beat Portland, and they didn't give up more than 80 like an 82 spot, an 86 spot. Yeah, they had the one game where they gave up a bunch of points. Still won it. But, I mean, they held Portland down.
Portland was a hell of a team, too, man.
Yeah, Portland was a very good team this year.
Yeah. What's up, Bengal T? Good morning, brother. How you doing out there? All right. So as far as the games, I don't recommend taking Golden State -5, dude. Not at all.
No.
Not in this spot, guys. I don't know. You know what? Hit up the Dream. See what he's got to say about that. He had a big win last night with the Clippers -4. A point spread, by the way, not just a money line. He did recommend -4 as well. So take a look at what he's got to say about that, and we'll keep it moving from there. So I got all kinds of bets going on, guys, with with futures and in-game stuff and all that. So I'm going to just kind of fall back and watch the games and see how they materialize. So let's shoot over to the ice stand and see what we got. All right, so
I think we have one
game. We have the Tampa Biscuit Lightning coming into the Montreal Canadiens. Now the Habs are favored -125 with an under-over of 5. What's your take on the Habs, kid?
I mean, this is kind of how I expected this series to go. I think Tampa Bay gets it done today.
You do,
I think even at Montreal, I think they get it done.
At Montreal, they get it done. Okay.
Yep. I think they get it done at Montreal. I know they got pounded at home, but, they won the first two at Montreal, and they pounded them at the Bell Center. that second game where they won 6-2. They've won 2 close games 2-1. I think they go back there and just and roll them.
All right, I love this track, by the way, for background music, man. I watched the Habs last game. They looked like, in that last game, start to finish, they looked like they were the Stanley Cup winner. They were crazy, dude. Just the finesse of the play and, the whole package. And they just beat the snot out of Tampa Biscuit. Here's the problem with them. They are so inconsistent, dude. They'll come out and have a monster game and then just get blown up and look like they don't even want to be there. Maybe it took going down 0-3 in the series to kind of wake up.
I guess. I don't know. I just think, like what you said, right? They're inconsistent. They have all the talent in the world to do it, but I also think, like I said, I've always said that Montreal might be the hardest place to play in hockey is the home team.
Yes.
They get on you. They go crazy.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So that's the hockey thing. As far as that's concerned, guys, I can't recommend taking Tampa Biscuit at all. If anything, the Habs probably get it done today.
Yeah, I don't know. I lean Tampa Bay. Like I said, I'm not putting money on it. I lean Tampa Bay just because I just don't think Montreal, like you said, they're not consistently good. They can go out there. Yeah, they scored 6 goals yesterday. Great. They could give up a 6 spot today.
Yeah. And you know what, guys? I got to tell you that with Montreal here, I've gotten punched in the face a couple of times with them giving heavy juice this year. So giving minus 125 to a team like Tampa Biscuit, I'm going to fall back from that. Maybe I'll get some live play or something like that. So that's pretty much it, Dan. We got a big show tomorrow. We got a lot of hockey, a lot of NBA tomorrow as well.
Oh, yeah.
But we are going to keep it moving, and we went a little bit over, guys, but we're happy to do that for you, especially on the weekend, especially when I got my man, the evil genius, dropping the knowledge about baseball players with blue eyes having problems in the sun and all that. So,
hey, very happy to do it, man. I love
absolutely, man, absolutely. So that's pretty much it, Dan. You got anything to add before we close out of here?
No, this is what I'm going with, guys. I'm threw down on the Grizzlies. Like, that's a pure gamble last night. That's on them to just win the series. At plus 425, as well as they played the other day, I just felt like I had to do it. But, so what we're doing today is we're going to do that 14 parlay. I know people are saying fade off Kershaw. But even if Kershaw gives up 3 or 4 runs, I think the Dodgers will be scoring a ton of runs today. So I'm going to throw down the Reds, Astros, Dodgers, Giants as a money line parlay. And then my teams that I'm taking money line, I'm going to go Reds, Cardinals, Blue Jays, Astros, Cubs, Padres, and Yankees.
Wow. You went from one play to all that.
Hey.
And that's what happens when the show comes on, kid. You know what I mean? It's like we were talking about, Dream was saying the other day. He said, it's like you're at the bar and there's that not so attractive woman across the bar, but then as the drinks come in, like how the show, how we break down the games in the show,
yep.
She becomes more attractive as the night goes on. And then by the end of the night, you're like, oh, let's get out of here, the two of us. Come on. That's kind of the way it goes. So, all right, guys, big ups to my man Chino out there. And Total Sports Edge is feeling the Habs, dude.
Yep.
All right, so I might get involved with them. I don't know yet, guys. We'll keep it from there. They just beat me up too much this year. But as far as my plays are concerned, I've got all kinds of madness going on behind the scenes, but I am going to take Cueto. I just don't know if it's a heavy play yet. It might be a medium-sized play. So I'll put that out there in a little bit, and we will go from there, Dan. So what you got to shout out before we close out of here?
Hey, I love the whole nation. Thanks for being patient with me, guys. I try and get my plays out there every day, but it is what it is, and I know you guys are dying for them, and I get the messages every day. It's just really, really hard for me, but I love all of you, and can't wait to be on again tomorrow, man.
Are you going to post your plays on the website, Dan?
Dude, I actually have to do some work right after we get off the air. I will probably just tweet them out.
All right, yeah, just throw them out on Twitter, and we'll go from there. Guys, that's Dr. Dan Evil Genius on Twitter. And with that said, we are the biggest show in the world. We are at you 7 days a week, nonstop, 9 a.m. during the week, 10 a.m. on the weekends, live, all energy, all the time, having an absolute blast, kid, and dealing with and partying with the hashtag SBTV Nation. So, guys, like I said, I am on Mr. Johnny Cueto today, and that's pretty much it. We'll go from there, guys. So, with that said, we love you to death. Go out there, go easy, bet your own plays, tail fade, do whatever the hell you want to do. Just make sure that you get that money and do your own stuff. We love you to death, guys. Take care.
Peace.